Hi folks, Colin here. Great to see you. Welcome to Friday Night Live. This is a new experience for all of us. Hope you're going to enjoy it. And I'm going to sing you some songs, going to show you some stuff on the guitar, and maybe talk about some books and maybe a bit of whiskey that I'm drinking and things like that, just to show you what's going on. And we'll play some rock and roll. We might even play some local sort of Scottish music as well towards the end. We'll see how we go. So the first song I'm going to play tonight is a song that I like by a guy called Joe Strummer. My daddy was a bank robber. He never hurt nobody. He just loved to live that way, and he loved to steal your money. Some is rich and some is poor. That's the way the world is. I don't believe in lying back, saying how bad your luck is. So we came to jazz it up. He never loved a shuffle. Break your back just to earn your pay, and don't forget to grovel. My daddy was a bank robber who never hurt nobody. He just loved to live that way, and he loved to take your money. An old man spoke up in a bar, said I've never been in prison. A lifetime serving one machine is 10 times worse than prison. Imagine if all the boys in jail could get out now together. What do you think they're gonna say to us while we was being clever? My daddy was a bank robber. He never hurt nobody. He just loved to live that way, and he loved to take your money. There we go. So we're having a look in the improvers group this week about how you can just take basic chords and you can just add little notes here and there and just make them a wee bit more interesting. So I was just doing this, was playing a little tune there around the G chord. So I'm playing the G chord, and then I'm playing the open D, then I'm playing 2 on the D, open, 3 on the A, and 2 on the D, and I'm hammering on to 2 on the A, then D, then 3, 2, open, back to G, C, D, C, G. And you get a wee kind of, it just sort of adds a little bit of interest to your chords if you're doing that sort of thing. So that was just a wee idea. So that was the sort of stuff that we're doing in the improvers group. I'm going to switch to the electric guitar now. Now, the other thing we're having a look at was we're looking at triads this week. And the great thing about triads is that if you're struggling with bar chords at the moment, then the great thing about triads is they're a lot easier to play than bar chords because you're only playing a little bit of the guitar at a time. So we're talking about the D shape this week. That's a great wee triad. And when you're playing that D shape, your root is on the second string. So you always remember that. So that's the D, that's the root. If you move that up to the 7th fret, now your root is on the 8th fret. That's your G. So you've got your 1, you've got your 4, and you've got your 5. So the 1, 4, and 5 are the major chords. The 2, 3, and 6 are the minor chords. So that's your 1, 4, 5, D, G, A. And obviously that's movable. So if you started here, that becomes an E chord. So you're still using that D shape, A, B. That's your major chords. So we go back to D. In between, you've got the minor chords. So we just take the D shape. You know how to make a D minor. You flatten your third. D minor. So take that D. And there's 2 chords minor. So that's now our root is on our pinky. That E on the 5th fret. So that's your 2 chords of E minor. 3 chords minor as well. That's the F sharp. Then your 4 chords major again. 5 chords major. And then your 6 is minor. 7 is technically a diminished, but we'll just keep it minor at the moment. And D, back to the 1 again. So it's really quite handy that. So you hear a lot of solos that are played just using the top 2 strings of that. They're talking thirds. So you've got your root there, you've got your 3 there. That's a third interval. So that's a major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major. And it's the same for all the chords. So, if you start with an A, your next one's your 1's major, your 2's minor, minor, major, minor, minor, major. And you hear that, so you hear it in like, that's all kind of out of that kind of idea. So a good one to have a look at if you're interested in sort of triads. That's a brown-eyed handsome man, Buddy Holly. So we're actually using a major triad. So that's 12 on the B, 13 on the G, and 14 on the D. And what we're doing, we're playing that triad. So we're playing 12 and 13 on the B and G. Then we're playing 14, 14, then 12 and 13, and 14 and 13. So you're just using that triad, 12, 13, 14, and you're just sort of playing 14 and 14 on the B and G. And then we're going to use the D shape. So that's your top of your D shape. So that's 11 and 12 on the top 2 strings. Back 2. 12 and 14. That's just your D shape. And if you're playing that tune, if I can get the words up, where are they? Here we are. So if I get the words, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to play the E chord. And when I'm playing the E chord, I'm going to hit the 4 on the A, pinky. Arrested on charges of unemployment, he was sitting in the witness stand. The judge's wife called up the district attorney, said, "Free that brown-eyed man. You want your job, you better free that brown-eyed man." Flying across the desert in the TWA, I saw the woman walking across the sand. She's walking 30 miles and reaching for me, brown-eyed handsome man. It's a brown-eyed handsome man. You flipped out or couldn't make up her mind between a doctor and a lawyer man. Her mother told her, "Darling, go and find yourself a brown-eyed handsome man." Just like her daddy was a brown-eyed handsome man. And that's just using your D shape back and forward. So it's quite good. I've done a wee lesson on that. You can check that out if you type it in to the into YouTube. You'll find that in there. So, how's everyone doing? Say hello if you're there. Oh, hello there, Paddy. Nice to see you. Hi, John. Hi, Todd. There might be a bit of a time delay on here. I don't know how it works. Oh, there's a few folks. Hi, Marks. How you doing? Hi, David. Nice to see you from Bristol. Hello, Alan. Hi, Todd. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Sorry, folks, there was a sort of window covering up the comments, so I didn't see that there for a minute. But good to see you all. I hope you're all doing well this evening. What was that you were saying there? Can you do the open of half loves? Oh, right. Now, when I do these videos, I do them and then I kind of like forget them. But I do keep the tabs handy. So let me just have a wee look. So tabs. So the tab is actually, you can download that from the video. Rick, you can get that if you go into that video that I've done of the lesson. It does actually download, but I'll just see what I can find in here. And is it Sod's Law? I haven't saved it. Let me just check. I can probably download it from the video itself, maybe. Anyway, I might have to come back to that, Rick. Leave that one with me. Sorry, my filing system's not. I usually file them, but this one hasn't been filed, so sorry about that. But you can download the tab from the video itself. Oh, you've got it. Oh, that's good. You've got it. Brilliant. That's brilliant. So, I'm just going to have a wee glass of water here. Now, I don't know what you're drinking tonight, and I don't know where you're calling from. So drop a note in the call. Ventura. Hello, Todd from Ventura, California. Fantastic. Bristol. Yeah, let me know where you're calling from, folks, so I know where you're coming from. It's great to see you. Now, I'm going to have a little dram. So in Scotland, it's very customary to drink whiskey at this time of year, and I've got a Glenlivet malt whiskey tonight, which is really nice. I don't know if you know much about whiskey, but this is a Speyside malt. So it originates from the northeast, a bit like myself, and the whiskies, if you don't know much about Scotland or whiskey, they all have a different flavour depending on where they're from. So in the northeast, they tend to be milder, a bit less kind of edgy, shall we say. If you go to the west coast, they tend to be a bit peatier, a bit smokier, a bit more character. Should be a Bushmills. Are you from Portrush, Alan? Oh, I've had Bushmills before. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's got a wee bit of fire, I think, when it goes down. But this, I think you'll find this is a bit softer to drink than the Bushmills. But I'm not going to slag it. So that's a very nice. Yeah, it's very it's very smooth. It doesn't sort of challenge you too much. Whereas if you have some of the Islay malts, like some of the Lafroig and Lagavulin, that there can be a bit more. It does put hairs in your chest, Alan. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking it. I've had Bushmills many a time. I have spent a lot of time in Northern Ireland when I was younger. You've got Paddy's got family in Ventura. That's amazing, isn't it? So, I was going to tell you what I'm listening to this week. So I like to buy a record every week, and this one is probably a little bit out of a lot of people's range here, but this one is an incredible string band who came from Edinburgh in the 60s. There's a guy called Robin Williamson. That's him there. He's a bit of a character. He lives I think he lives in California now, but he went to school at George Watson's, a very nice school in Edinburgh, and I saw him playing at Edinburgh University with Bert Jansch many years ago. It was the two of them. It was an amazing gig. And he did actually write a book, which I read, called this book, Penny Whistle Book. So I learned to play the penny whistle off him as well, but I've not played the penny whistle for a long time. I've been more into rock and roll since then. So yeah, I would recommend incredible string band. And if you've got any recommendations, I'm always looking for good things to listen to. So drop me a line so that I know. You can put it in the comments later, maybe. So if you're listening to anything good, because it's always difficult to get hold of something good to listen to. So what was I going to do now? I was going to sing you another song. So we did a 60s group this week. Last week we looked at a song by the Kinks called Waterloo Sunset, which is a really good one. And we sort of do different versions of it. So we do kind of like a sort of beginner's version, which is, or not too hard. And then we do the kind of the tricky stuff so that, it kind of covers different levels. And I always put videos out. So, if you're moving on, you can watch them later sort of thing. But Ray Davies is just an amazing songwriter. And I think this is one of the best songs of the 1960s. And I'm probably going to murder it now, but I'll do my best. Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, rolling into the night? People so busy, makes me feel dizzy. Taxi rides burn so bright, but I don't feel afraid. As long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I'm in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window. Chilly, chilly, it's evening time. Waterloo sunset's fine. Terry, Miss Julie, Waterloo Station every Friday night. But I am so lazy, I don't want to wander. I stay at home. But I don't feel afraid. As long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset. Every day I look at the world from my window. Chilly, chilly, it's evening time. Waterloo sunset's fine. I think you do. I can't remember the words. Thank you, Patty. This is the sort of instrument bit. But I don't feel afraid. It's hard. As long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I'm in paradise. So there you go. That was my attempt at Waterloo Sunset, and apologies to Ray Davies. That was a little bit tricky, but anyway, it's a good song and well worth learning. So what's your news, folks? What are you up to this evening? What are you listening to? What are you playing on guitar? Give me some chat. What's the guitar, John? So this is a Taylor, a very nice guitar. First decent guitar I ever bought. It was actually my lovely wife who suggested that I get myself a decent guitar. I think she got a bit tired of listening to me playing a really bad one. So anyway, went and got this in Edinburgh. It's a Taylor GS. Now, the Taylor GS, you hear about the Taylor GS Mini, but this one, I think they just made it for about a year or something. So it's a wee bit annoying because, I sort of think, when I paid a bit of money for it, I paid about £1,500, which was a lot of money to me back in the day. They've sort of stopped making them. So I don't know, if people realise kind of that there's a good quality guitar, because the GS Minis are kind of worth a bit less money than that. But I'm not going to sell it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I quite like the kind of sort of bright sound to it. Got any song requests tonight? So I suspect there's some people here quite like a bit of Eddie Cochran, maybe. That might be all right. Let's have a go. I'm a big fan of Eddie Cochran for many reasons. He was a brilliant guitar player, a brilliant songwriter. But his songs are quite good to play on guitar, but when you're by yourself, because I don't know, they seem to be quite sort of self-contained kind of songs. So I find them quite helpful. Well, I got a girl with a wrecking machine. When it comes to rockin', she's the queen. Love to dance on a Saturday night. All alone, I can hold her tight. But she lives on 20th floor of town. The elevator's broken down. So I walk 1, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 8, 5 more. On 12, I'm starting to say 15. Oh, it's scary, right? Get the top, I'm too tired to roll. She calls me up on the telephone. She said, "Oh, for honey, 'cause all alone." I said, "Well, honey, that's mighty sweet." And I'm in bed with aching feet. This went on for a couple of days, but I couldn't stay away. So I walked 1, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 8, 5 more. On 12, I'm starting to say 15. Oh, it's getting down. Get the top, I'm too tired to roll. I sent to Chicago for repairs till it's fixed. I'm using the stairs, but don't have too long to wait. I miss my baby too much to wait. All this climbing is getting me down. Find my car straight over the rail, so I walk 1, 2, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 8, 5 more. On 12, I'm starting to say 15. Oh, it's getting me dry. Get the top, I'm too tired to roll. Get the top, I'm too tired to roll. Get the top, I'm too tired to roll. So there we go, a wee bit of Eddie Cochran. Thank you very much, Todd. Tell us about the Holly Body. Oh, have you got a Taylor as well, John? That's nice. Yeah, Taylors are good. I'm actually thinking, I don't know. I've got this issue where after a while, I like to get a new guitar. But I've kind of maxed out on my guitars at the moment, actually. But anyway, so I can't. It's because I'm Scottish. I find it hard to justify spending money on things sometimes. But anyway, so this guitar is a Brian Setzer Nashville. And I got it secondhand, and it is an amazing guitar. So it's a 6120, which is kind of like the professional level Gretsch guitar, and it's got. I believe these are TV Jones Ray Butts. I'm not sure if actually maybe they're not TV Jones. I may be lying. Actually, it's possibly Gretsch made Filtertron pickups, but they sound pretty good. Blue Days, Black Nights. We could maybe do that one. Let's have a go. Now, it's a while since I've played it, but I think I can remember it. Todd, let's have a look. Black nights, the tears keep on falling for you, dear. Now you're gone. Blue days, black nights, my heart keeps on falling for you, dear. You're alone. Memories of you keep on calling. I gave you reason to doubt me. Now you're gone, and I'm left here all alone with blue memories. I think of you. There we go. So what you're saying there, so how do I approach the arrangements? Yeah, I do all by ear, Rick, generally speaking. I find tabs is quite a slow way to learn, actually. What I do is I make a tab afterwards, once I've learned the piece, to sort of remind me how to play it in future. But If you're learning, it's actually much faster if you can get in the way of learning songs by ear. It sounds a bit daunting, but it actually is not that hard, to be honest. The guitar's not that big, so and you get to hear sounds. So things like this, you get to know that noise, that sound is a kind of. It's always you're going to have that juxtaposition of the 8 and the 7, and it could be in a different key. And generally speaking, they're going to be using the pentatonic or the rockabilly scale or the blues scale. So that's in rockabilly generally, or they'll be using the triads that we just spoke about a minute ago. So once you kind of get to know the moves, it gets easier every time you do a tab. And same with the finger picking stuff. There's sort of riffs that kind of repeat. So in, for example, things like what's that one? Blue Moon of Kentucky. So that's a kind of that's a sort of generic kind of thing. You kind of hear these all over the place, and so it's kind of like you can hear the sound of an open string, and you kind of know that it's in the key of E. So you then you go, right, it's going to be an E chord and things like that. So kind of it gets a lot easier. So where are you based, Rick? Are you in the UK, or are you further afield? Oh, thank you, John. Train I ride, 15 coaches long. Train I ride, 15 coaches long. Well, to my baby, yes, she's gone, yes, she's gone. Train, coming right down the line. Train, Scotland, I said Edinburgh. Coming right down the line. To my baby. Train, coming right down the line. Train, coming right down the line. To my baby. So what did you do? So that's just an A7. And it's all kind of generic stuff. And that's an E, just. And it's just like a B. B7. That's just an A. Hi, Carlos. Nice to see you there. All the way from Mexico. Great to see you. Oh, it's so good to get people from all over the world. That's fantastic. Thank you, Todd. So yeah, all these songs quite generic. So what else can I sort of do tonight? What about a bit more Eddie Cochran? Well, Ginny, come and dance with me, girl. Teach you every dance from across the sea, girl. What's the vibe? Yeah, and we all. Yeah, we was rock and roll the world in the storm. Ginny, got my blue suede shoes on. Pink carnation and my black slacks too, yeah. What's the vibe? Yeah, and we all. Yeah, and we swap rock and roll the world in the storm. Ginny, you don't have to wait. I'll be ready at 8. I keep on knocking at your front door. All the cats are hopping at the big 5-4. Ginny, when we reach the hall. And we're having a ball. Cookie bop. Yeah, and we hop. Yeah, and we slosh. Rock and roll the world in the storm. Ginny, you don't have to wait. I'll be ready at 8. People knocking at your front door. All the cats are hopping at the big 5-4. Ginny, when we reach the hall. Remember the words? What's the vibe? Yeah, we are. Yeah, and we start rock and roll on this storm. So there we go. Eddie Cochran. How many bands have been over the years? Well, that's a good question, Todd. I haven't ever thought about that. So it must be about 10, I would imagine, something like that. I'll have to sit and think about it. I never actually thought about that, but it's quite a few. But I was in one for a long time until about last year, and then that kind of fell by the wayside. But yeah, I've got one going at the moment, but we're not very busy. It's always difficult to get a new band going. When I die and I lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. When they lay me down to die, I'm going on up to the spirit in the sky. Going on to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and I lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Not a sinner, never sinned. I got a friend in Jesus. So I know that when I die, He's gonna recommend me to the spirit in the sky. Going on up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and I leave it to God, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. So that's a good example. Using power chords. So I'm doing, these are a little power chords. So I've got my 3, got my G. So it's 3, 5, 5, 3, did power chords, another Kings. That's just power chords on the G. You move it up a fret, then you move up a string. So that's quite handy as well, just to know power chords. So I'm going to finish up soon, folks. But it's been lovely to see you, and I think I'll probably be back next week if I can. I'll just try and keep it, just sharing a little bit of what we do in the groups, so you can see the kind of stuff that we do. If you like it, by all means, get in touch with me. It's not a big deal, but you're very welcome to join us. I was going to play you, because it's Burns night, and Burns is like our national poet in Scotland. And I'm drinking whiskey, and it's that time of year. I was going to do you a Scottish song, because there isn't very much Scottish music gets played these days, and I think it's a bit of a shame, actually. So this song was written, there used to be a lot of travelling folk in Scotland. I think there still are now, but you don't see them as much as you used to. There was, like, when I went to school, there was always people that came and stayed in the class for about 3 months and then they disappeared because they were off somewhere else. And then they came back the next year. They used to travel around according to the seasons. So they used to work on the farms and stuff and do fruit picking and chatty picking and all that sort of stuff. I imagine a lot of that is now, well, I know they do a lot of it by hand, but I don't know if it's quite the same anyway. But most of them live in Preston fans, that's true. Well, I did a lot of tatty picking and fruit picking myself, so I met a lot of these people. And this song was written by a guy called Jimmy Macbeth, who was a very famous traveller who wrote a lot of great folk songs, and I like it. Come on, you tramps and hawker lads, and gatherers of blood. The tramps the country round and round, come listen in and out. I'll tell to you a roving tale of sex that I have seen. It's far into the snowy north and south, my Greta Green. Of times I've laughed into myself when travelling on the roads. We tow rags round my blistered feet, my face as brown as a toad. We lumps of cake and tatty scones, we wines of braxy ham. No gain for far I've been, unless to far I'm gone. I've done my share of humping with the stockers on the Clyde. I've helped in buckets roll out all the herring over the side. I've helped to build the mighty bridge that spans the busy floor. And we boys and Angus farmers take up through the bonny earth. I'm happy in the summertime beneath the bright blue sky. No gain I fought that morning where at night our heads alive. In barn or byre or anywhere, Dawson among the hay. And if the weather treats me right, I'm happy every day. So there you go. I think that's a good little tune. I don't know if you liked it, but it's a bit of genuine Scottish culture, and we don't get enough of it these days. So I think it's important to just give you a little bit of that. Anyway, thank you, John. What's the name of that song again, Todd? So that was called "You Tramps, Tramps and Hawkers." So tramps and hawkers. So it's the hawkers were the people who used to go around the houses. So in the old days, the sort of traveling people used to sort of go around people's houses, and they would sell, you know, the women in the house would buy something off them, you know, they'd be like, they would sell them string and stuff like that. And they always used to get the tales of gossip and news from around the community. So these guys were like, kind of like, they were almost like, you know, a means of communication back in the day before you had too much in terms of TV and newspapers and stuff like that. I mean, the newspapers were always there, but it's more like the local news, the sort of gossip that was going around. They used to, that was part of their sort of stock and trade, was actually the blah that guy was talking about there. So thank you, Todd. So that's it for tonight, folks. I hope to see you again. And if you've got any requests, just drop me a line, drop me someone in the community, and I'll try and learn stuff and try and do stuff and teach you stuff. And hopefully we'll catch up next week. Lovely to see you, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much.